or not. I might have to like do the camera shit as I'm going. This is weird. No, no worry. By the way, we're on live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Keyboard Warriors, presented by EarthTheWarriors.com. My name's Eddie Law. That's for Kirby. That's just Bacava, and we are a little fucked up. So obviously, you guys, I don't know if you guys are seeing the whole thing or just the KW, or you guys see us or not. I'm gonna have to pull up the link itself and make sure. But we are live, so let's go right into what happened this last week at UFC 237. We have a new champion, strawweight champ, Jessica Andrade, off the slam. I'll start off. I thought Rose was piecing her up really fucking good, like really piecing her the fuck up until that slam. Some people are calling it a fluke. I think Michael Bisping was one of the guys calling it a fluke. So it's a really weird thing. But Fred, you saw the fight. What did you think of it?
I think fluke sums it up pretty good, to be honest. I think Andrade got lucky as fuck. Let's keep it a bean. She was getting her face thumped on. Like did she land a punch? Or like a clean one at least? She definitely didn't land nothing very hard or clean. I mean, she was getting cleaned up that whole fight, and then she landed the slam. She had went for it one time before too, right? Didn't she try to pull that shit off one other time?
In the first round, Rose, I think Rose, the mistake she made is she assumed that her jiu-jitsu was going to overcome whatever was going to happen, and she kept holding on to the grip. You know, in the first round, she did that, but she escaped without getting slammed or spiked or, you know, whatever. But you're right. I think there's no way anybody can say otherwise that Rose was winning that fight. I mean, there's literally no way you could say otherwise. But I think there's some things that Andrade did well, and I don't know. I think one of the things that she did pretty well was that she was able to find the clinch game that she wanted to kind of use, and also I think her ability to take that damage and really move forward on Rose, and kind of, you know, made Rose kind of try to adjust her game plan on the go. But you guys are right. I mean, it wasn't like if we just kept this going for the next 5 rounds, I don't think it was going to be a very stellar performance for Andrade.
Bro, Andrade got lucky. If Rose don't go out on that slam, it's curtains for her. Like she was getting tuned up. Like, and it wasn't even like Rose landed a big shot that changed the trajectory of the fight. She was just winning the striking exchanges easily. Her jab was on fire. Like, quite frankly, I was a little shocked at how little Andrade had for her in the striking department. She was just getting lit the fuck up. I was like, damn. Like, I knew Rose was good, but I was kind of shocked at how good she was.
Sorry to interject, but do you really think that's surprising? Because remember, she also fought JJ before, and JJ did basically the same thing, like just annihilated her on the feet, like very easily as well. Although she did take a lot more damage than Rose did, but it was a 5-round fight, right? That they had. So I mean, you know, I wasn't surprised by the fact that she was able to, you know, withstand the damage, but that she absorbed that much damage. What surprised me is, I think what everybody is surprised by, that Rose made that decision to hold on to an attempt and got spiked, instead of what everybody else does in that position is let go and protect yourself before you get slammed on your face.
Right. And the thing too with it is that, like, the whole hanging on to it, you didn't think, I didn't even think about it when she was doing it. When she was about to get slammed, I thought, like, damn, for sure, I didn't think she was gonna get slammed on her head. I thought she was gonna get dropped on her back and be fine. When she landed on her head, like maybe like a few seconds after, you know, obviously when the fight got stopped, I was like, man, she should have let go of that shit for real. Like, but I mean,
slams are tricky though, man.
Right.
Like, I've seen a bunch of slams, and sometimes slams look, you know, that slam, I guess in hindsight, it looked pretty bad. I've seen worse looking slams. Yeah, did less damage. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just kind of hard to say. When fucking Kevin Randleman spiked fucking Fedor through the fucking canvas, you know what I'm saying? That was one of the most perfect slams you're ever going to see, and Fedor rolled right through it. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just hard to say. I'm sure Rose probably assumed that she would just kind of roll, and it was probably just like a fucking cunt hair. That, you know what I mean? She just landed at the wrong fucking moment, and she didn't even get knocked out, did she? Didn't she just get like stunned pretty fucking bad?
She got stunned, and then she got kind of finished on the ground.
Right. But she wasn't unconscious after the slam.
Right. No. But you also have to think of the damage that could have been done to her neck. But, as a jiu-jitsu guy, Eddie, you know that you have to protect yourself and be aware of your body at all times.
Right.
The fact that she made the mistake of just holding on to that grip and being, taken into the air. I mean, who was it? Was it Jon Jones against Rampage, right? Jon Jones got in that same position, and as soon as Rampage started lifting him up, right away, he let go, used the grip to get himself up, got back on his feet. You have to be aware of what's happening to your body. And the fact that she just was like, well, I'm just going to roll with it. Like, I think I'm going to land good. You can't rely on the other person to just kind of gently put you down on your back or on your shoulder and you're going to roll out of it. Like, they're trying to finish you.
But
so, like, the end result might be this situation.
But to be fair, how many fucking times have we seen guys go for slams to slam their way out of a triangle or an armbar? And what happens? They just dig themselves even deeper into it. So maybe she thought, go ahead and slam me, big girl. If you don't knock me out, I'm going to rip your fucking arm off because I'm going to be on the ground where I can actually get some leverage on you. You know what I mean? You hold me in the air. Like we were talking before we went live about the supposed phantom tap or whatever the fuck with that video. Yeah, no, she didn't fucking tap, dog. No. Like, she's holding fucking Rose in the air. I'm sure it hurts a little, but you finish the Kimura like on the ground where you can fucking, you know what I mean, get some torque on it. What the fuck?
Right.
Like, wasn't finishing her in the fucking air like that. What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and just to let everybody fucking know real quick, I tweeted that shit out. All right, you fuckers. Like, everyone got like a stick up their ass when I tweeted it out. Like, I believe it was a tap. Y'all didn't even let me explain. That being said, shout out to Raider who's in the chat right now. She was just like, I see what you're doing. I didn't do that on purpose. I wasn't trying to fucking start some shit and get everyone talking and like, you know what I mean, going on it. That being said, fuck it. It happened. So, but no, of course it wasn't a fucking tap.
She was adjusting her hands, dude.
She was adjusting her hands.
Weird. She literally had a human on her shoulders.
Right.
I mean, it's you might look a little weird when you're trying to fix your fucking hands to throw her a slam.
And I was gonna ask you, Eddie, like, you know jiu-jitsu pretty well. Like, talk through like that situation, because if you look at it, there's really nothing that Rose could twerk on, that she could pull on, that would be an actual submission. Like, there was nothing there that you could say like, oh well, she's doing this, like maybe she was like bending her thumb or something, but there was like no actual submission happening at that moment that like would make Andrade like tap. So anybody that even looks at that and goes, oh well, she's doing something to her, like, no, then you obviously don't understand jiu-jitsu at all.
Right, that's the thing. There was nowhere. There's nowhere to torque anything. It's not like she had like a guard. You know what I mean? Like, usually you have to have a guard. You have to have like something to push off with your legs to torque that thing. And there was nothing. So that's why I kept saying like that wasn't a tap. Now a lot of people are like, it was a phantom tap. She's trying to get Rose to let go. Again, let go like of what? You know what I mean? Like, there was like Rose was using that to stop the takedown. Because honestly, if she had taken her down just like traditional takedowns and shit like that, then she's kind of in trouble, right? She showed it with the first time. I mean, she went for Kimura. She got taken down. Switched the thing to an armbar, I think. Am I right on that?
Yep. Right at the end of the round, right?
Right. And then Andrade escaped, and then back to the feet again. Andrade shoots. Rose gets a Kimura grip on it. This time Andrade picks her up. And you could tell she made up her mind, like, I'm gonna slam this bitch, all right, and I'm gonna slam her as hard as I fucking can. When she did, what happened. It's a fight game, man. It's just, unfortunately for Rose, this is what happened. Now, whether or not it's a fluke, it doesn't really matter. The winner's a winner. But I thought it was telling that after the fight, I don't, if you guys have anything else to bring another fight, go for it. But I thought it was interesting to see that Rose was like, I don't know what I'm doing. She was like kind of hinting at like being done.
Do you think that it was a result of like the result of the fight, or do you think that we've kind of known that Rose is kind of like she kind of walks to the beat of her own drum, right? Like, she wants to be a hippie, grow her marijuana, like kind of like be like what was that the Kung Fu show back in the day, like just walk the earth and like just do good things, like she's that type of person where you could see if she was like, yeah, I'm just gonna drive around in the bus with Pat Perry and just kind of save people or whatever. I would believe that that's what she'd want to do.
I mean, look, man, to be honest, as much as we all love Rose, it takes a certain fucking je ne sais quoi to be a champion. And I think we as the audience think Rose has that, but I don't, Rose is like Jon Snow. For any of you out there that watch the Game of Thrones, she don't want the throne, baby. She might be right for it, but I don't think she wants to be champion. I don't think she wants all the lights and the camera. I don't think she wants all the attention. I think she would love to just be number 2 or 3, get big fights, make good money, but I just don't think she likes being the champion. Now, I'm sure she would take the belt back or take those opportunities or whatever, but I think you could tell that a part of her was low-key relieved. She definitely didn't look she didn't look broken up. She was just kind of like, yeah, well, shit happens. Whew, keep that thing. You know what? I don't even really need the rematch. I might just go fuck off and do something else for a while, actually. I don't even know if I'm, you know what I mean? Like, she wasn't calling for the immediate rematch, which Lord knows she deserves it. If any fight deserved one, I mean, look, you ain't got to call it a fluke, but to deny that Rose was piecing up her face before that slam,
right,
you're a fucking idiot. So, this is definitely a fight that a rematch is warranted in, and she didn't even go there. She was kind of like, yeah, I don't even know what I plan on doing. So obviously, it's not really her thing being in the limelight.
But you're right, Fred. She even mentioned it. I think it was in what was it in the after interview? I think she said she said that it was like a weight lifted off her shoulder. And we have a lot of examples of champions who just feel that way, right? Like they feel like it's this heavy weight on them where they basically have like a big target on their back and all these people want to come after them and, hurt them. And like Fred, like you said, I mean, some people are meant for that and they thrive off of that. And there are other people that are just like, nah, like, hey, like, like a cowboy, right? Back in the day, he was just like anytime, any place, whatever. Like he wasn't interested in a title before. Now that's changed. But I mean, Rose could, like, you could see how that's like her mentality. Like, yeah, whatever. Like I get to travel somewhere, fight, whatever. Like I don't have to do this.
Robbie Lawler felt the same way to me. Like, obviously he deserves it, but he felt like, he lost the belt. He's like, whatever, man. Like, I'm just here to fight and get paid. Like, I it's not that he didn't deserve, not that Rose didn't deserve to be the champion. Right. Like you said, some like Jon Jones, Conor McGregor, certain guys just get that, and it seems like they just relish in that opportunity to be champion, and they love it. And then other people just seem like it wears on them, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell who has that ability to handle the pressure, right?
Yeah.
And Rose is definitely one of those ones that Robbie Lawler, those two mainly. I'm sure there's plenty of examples, but those are two people that are like, I just want to fight and go home and chill the fuck out. I don't want to do interviews. I don't want to fight in New York and LA. In the same couple. Who?
Stipe. Yep,
Stipe can handle it better, I think.
Like, but he doesn't like to do any interviews.
Right, he doesn't like it.
Right,
he doesn't like it. But I mean, with Rose, it's like she didn't want to have to go to LA and New York to do fucking interviews the week of the fucking fight. Robbie Lawler is the same way. They just want to fight and go home with their families, right? And that's not the reality when anymore. If you're gonna be a champion, right?
Right.
Like you have to be that promo machine that, for example, someone like Conor McGregor is great at. Even Mighty Mouse is good at it, even though they weren't looking for him as much as they were looking for McGregor. I think one guy that has it down right to me is Max Holloway. Like he takes everything in such stride that he's like, yeah, man, I'm gonna go do this interview in LA, no big deal, man. I'm gonna go train, cool. But that is just the kind of shit I think that stressed Rose out so much, and that's why I think you got that sense of relief afterwards.
It does feel like some people just don't necessarily care about that accolade either, like Robbie or Rose. I just don't think, especially if they got it. So now it's like, yeah, I was a champion for a while, so at this point, it's whatever. You know what I mean? And then other people, I think, really, DC, Jon Jones, a lot of people really think about legacy, and that shit means something to them. They want that fucking belt. They want it around their waist, and it's everything to them.
Yeah. Like, I just thought about another one was like Holly Holm was another one of those that was like, I just want to fight, win, get the fuck home. And then when she came back to fight Misha, I'm not saying that Misha didn't deserve to win or that it was a fluke, right? But to me, Holly Holm seemed a little distracted, but that fight was a long time ago. Now, here's real quick. We got a couple. I just want to catch up on the YouTube comments. Raider says the slam isn't that she was lucky, though she purposely picked her up to slam her down to do damage. I mean, you can't really say Andrade got lucky. I mean, this is a good point.
Well, lucky in the sense that Rose held on to that submission for too long, because if Rose had decided not to hold on or had decided to do something else, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a bad decision by Rose to do that.
Right. Go ahead, Fred. What you got?
Man, she got lucky that Rose went to sleep. If Rose didn't go to sleep, she was about to start beating the shit out of Andrade like she was the rest of that goddamn fight.
Oh shit, that's funny as fuck. All right, let's see what else. Raider says Rose isn't a killer, and I mean, I guess that's a decent point, right? But still,
at times, it feels like it wavers with her. Sometimes she seems like a cold-blooded assassin, and then other times, like Jesse said, she seems like a fucking cute little hippie that wants to be fucking smoking pot in the fields growing carrots.
Yeah, and good for her because she is growing whatever the fuck she's growing. She got a bunch of shit going on.
And think about it this way though, like her big goal has always been to just get a farm where she can like live off the land and grow her own food, have her own like stuff. And I mean, after this point, like I'm pretty sure she has enough money for her and Pat Barry to kind of like do that. You know,
we're going to see how much she meant that, because she could probably do that at this point. We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
Like if she wants a fucking self-sustaining farm, she's probably made fucking $500,000 at the very least. She can do that.
She headlined what 3 pay-per-views now? Fucking the first JJ fight, I think.
I thought this was the first time a strawweight has headlined a pay-per-view.
Who fought in the
maybe a pay-per-view, but definitely cards like Fox Sports 1 card or whatever the fuck.
Oh, those don't count.
Either way, she got some bread. She got some bread.
She's
been fighting as a champion for a while. She got some money. She's doing all right.
Yeah, she's okay. She probably handle it. Just moving on from now on. And honestly, if she retired, I don't think she has anything left to prove. She did what she wanted. She defended once. Move on.
Okay, quickly before we wrap up with this Rose shit, and quickly, I don't want to go into no fucking detailed analysis on this, but we're all cool with the slam, right? Nobody has an issue with the slam. We don't think it should be illegal or no bullshit. Like, okay, just making sure. Yeah, like same. I've seen some people like, this is barbaric. She got power drove. She got power drive. Man, shut the fuck up.
You want barbaric? Go to your local jiu-jitsu tournament, all right, and then go into a tournament where there's white belts, okay? And one of them gets the other in a triangle. He don't know how to get out of it, and all he can think of is slamming a white belt. That is some barbaric shit that I've seen. I've seen that shit live, and you're sitting there going like, "What the fuck?" That's some barbaric shit. Because these assholes that don't know what the fuck they're doing can actually hurt somebody. All right, we got one more question on this one. Jeremiah, what up, dude? From the Hardcore MMA Show, hanging out. MMA guys, what's up, dude?
Real quick, shout out to Jeremiah because he's gonna have John Fitch on his show tomorrow.
Fitch won that. Did Fitch win that fight?
No, he lost. He lost, quote unquote, because they went to a draw, and the champion moved on in the tournament, which is BS. But tune in, I guess tomorrow. I think he's having John Fitch on the show.
Yeah. Jeremiah, hit me up with those details in the chat, and I'll throw them out there. But he says he asks, he goes, "What do you guys think? I've had several people tell me that Andrade was winning that fight before the slam. Like, I just don't see how you can say that." Raider says Rose was losing that second round. I think she was piecing Andrade the fuck up.
I mean, listen, I smoke a lot of pot. So she might have been doing something in that second round that I don't recall, but goddamn it, that first round was a fucking 10-8 almost. Like she most certainly did not win that goddamn first round by any measuring stick. Now I don't really recall the second round before that slam too much, but the first round she sure as fuck lost. I mean, come on now.
I don't think you can call it a win for Andrade, but that second round, I mean, she was having more success in not absorbing as many punches to the face and, really like backing up that jab, like, stopping it from, really piecing her up and using more of the clinch game. But I don't know about winning, man. That's a stretch.
Just because she was getting beaten up less in round 2 than she was in round 1. But look, you know what? At the end of the day, it don't really matter. Like Eddie said, no such thing as luck in MMA. She got the fucking slam and she won. But to answer Jeremiah's question, nah, I don't think Andrade was winning that fight up until that point. She might have had a couple okay moments, but like, she definitely wasn't winning the fight. Like, I mean, it was a surprise, no?
Yeah.
Like when it happened, I think everybody collectively was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. Who didn't go? Who didn't?
Momentum. What the fuck? Like,
who didn't go? Oh shit! When that fucking happened, I was losing my goddamn mind.
I feel like it was a turn of momentum. Like everybody felt that. Like it wasn't like Andrade was just beating the dog shit out of her, then just picked her up and Goro slammed her like like she wasn't just steamrolling through her, man.
I wasn't watching it live. I just saw Twitter explode like just with the slam. It's just like something that I had to see afterwards. Like, wow, Jesus. Yeah, it was awesome.
No, it honestly was a lot of fun to watch, and that was great. Now, all All right, moving on to the co-main event. Anderson Silva, man. First of all, fuck that crowd. All right, you booed the fuck out of Jared Cannonier because your boy took it like whatever happened to his knee. Supposedly it's not like blown out. He needs physical therapy. He's gonna come back. But that crowd booing the fuck out of Jared or Cannonier, whatever. That was bullshit to me. I was really fucking annoyed by that crowd. But Anderson Silva's done, man. Come on. All right, can we just out of bad luck alone? Anyone think he's done?
Didn't we kind of assume that at least 3 people were going to retire on this card? It was going to be Jose Aldo if he lost. It was going to be BJ Penn when he got beat, because we all knew he was going to get beat. And Anderson Silva if he got a win or a loss. And now all 3 of those guys aren't even talking about retirement. They're like, well, my next fight.
God damn it. I want no part of BJ Penn.
Just save it. We'll get to BJ. We'll get
there. But what I'm saying is, Anderson Silva at this point, he's an old guy. Someone needs to take him aside and go, hey, you know what, man? You're a legend. Don't ruin whatever you have left of a legacy. Right. You have your own gym. Train some guys. Live vicariously through some young kids, and just go off into the sunset, please.
Yeah, I just want Anderson to I don't want Anderson to go through a 7 fucking fight losing streak before he realizes it's over.
More like a 9-year losing streak, right? He hasn't won in 9 years.
He hasn't won in a minute. I think it was his last win, the Diaz fight. I think it was. I
think it was 2001. I think I heard that stat. So it's been 9 years since he won, or something like that.
Fucking hell. 9 years. Whatever, dude. Last time I saw him win was UFC 183. I want to say he won sometime after that, but whatever. What up, Newsman? He's chilling in the hanging out in the conversation saying, "It's okay, I'm here now." What up, everybody? What's up, dude? Anyway,
Fred, tell me, what do you think about Anderson wanting to still continue to fight? Just some physical therapy, and he wants another one.
I mean, what the fuck, man? I think it's low-key laughable.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, the fact that his ACL or MCL or something wasn't torn and he reacted like that. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure Jared Cannonier kicks very hard. I'm sure he does. But what the fuck? That's Michael Jordan out there. You're telling me he got kicked in the kneecap and he quit the fight? He gave up because it hurt? There was nothing wrong, right? He needs physical therapy is a massage, right? He needs a good fucking massage and a happy ending, and he's back to fucking training again. What the fuck happened? So I don't think, at the very least, and this echo will be sentimented later on with BJ. Well, actually, no, it won't be. BJ's will be a little bit different than this. But if Anderson does continue to fight, I think somebody needs to text him Scott Coker's number. At this point, it just shouldn't be in the UFC, man. And I get it, right? It's fucking Anderson Silva. The last thing the UFC probably wants to do is let bitch ass Scott Coker and punk ass Bellator get another fucking 100,000 streams off of another one of their fucking veterans. Look, the truth is, that's probably why we're still watching BJ and Anderson fight. Let's keep it right. It's probably because they don't want to let him go, because BJ and Anderson have probably came to Dana and been like, check this out. We have no other skills. We got nothing else to do in life. And when we're not, especially in BJ's case, when I'm not training, I'm banging whores and doing coke. So goddamn it, give me a fight to keep me clean. And if you don't, I'm walking and I'll fight for Scott Coker or fucking bare knuckle pricks or whatever, and they'll make money off my name. And I don't think Dana likes BJ or Anderson as much as he did Chuck Liddell. So I think he's like, fuck it. If you poor pricks want to ruin yourselves and your legacy and everything else, fuck it. I'll pay you $100,000 a fight so that Bellator doesn't get it.
That's a harsh way to put it.
Do you think now's the time for Joe Rogan to book both of these guys back to back? Go and give them the talk, the Brendan Schaub talk?
I don't think it's going to work with either one of these two characters. But yeah, I mean, look, I do think, again, let's keep the focus on Anderson. What do we think Anderson's going to do? Obviously, he wants to fight again. The question becomes, will Dana White and the UFC want to stay in the Anderson Silva business?
Right.
And if BJ Penn is any fucking indicator, there's definitely a little more tread left on that tire as far as Anderson's concerned.
But the problem is that Anderson still draws. I mean, look at the reaction of the crowd. They booed even though that performance was just god awful, you know,
Right.
like you said, Fred, he basically got a little bruise on his knee, and he was like, "No, I'm done." You know, like it really hurts. I'm done, and nothing was wrong with his knee, right? According to
technically speaking, yes.
Yeah, like he didn't blow the knee out or anything.
Yeah. So I mean, if you can roll out Anderson Silva every once in a while on a Brazil card, on any card, and give him some, some hacky guy, kind of like what they did with Jack Swagger over at Bellator. I mean, you could keep doing that for years, man, and not let Anderson go anywhere.
The sad fact is, if they don't, Bellator will. And if Anderson wants to fight, then he'll take that. So, I mean, it does make sense in the grand scheme of things why all this is happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, MMA Gods makes a good point. He goes, "Have you seen what BJ and Anderson make? That's why they're still fighting. Apparently, they make good coins, so I don't blame them."
Well, look, here's my idea, Fred. I know you want the CM Punk fight, but you against BJ Penn, neither of you are gonna take too much damage. You might even win that fight.
No, the disrespect of BJ Penn. How dare you, sir?
Let's not get crazy. BJ still throw me a beating even if he was poked up and drugged out.
How fucking dare you? My God. God, if you ever say, for example, that one of us should get in there with Candy, we could probably win, motherfucker. No, even with like no knees left on that dude. All right. Let's see. Museman says, "Hey Jesse, Anderson won't sit and pout in GRE the way Schaub did."
Yeah.
Holy shit! Anderson makes 620,000. BJ makes 170,000.
God,
I get
damn.
it. I fucking get it.
Yeah. I mean,
more than a lot of people make in a year, man.
Like I said, man, it all makes sense. They're going to want to fight. The UFC doesn't want Bellator to just keep cashing in on every fucking star they got. So they're probably like, fuck it. Fight your days out here.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then, so let's move on to the other retirement fight. Jose Aldo losing to Alexander Volkanovski. When they announced the decision and Jose was actually like upset, I was like, motherfucker, what?
Well, if you hear the interview he gave later on, I think either that day or for Global or something, he said that he was disappointed in his performance overall. He knew he had lost because he knew he went up against a really, really good competitor, but he just felt like his showing was not up to par what he's used to. So maybe he's starting to understand that maybe his time is really up and he's just not on par with these young cats, or he just had a bad day at the office and didn't get the win like he wanted to.
See, now I completely disagree with Jose. Like with Jose, I feel like, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's obviously a little long in the tooth, but I feel like BJ and Anderson are completely different stories than Jose.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Jose's clearly still competitive. That was a close fight. I think Jose obviously lost, but it was competitive. He didn't get knocked out. He didn't get blown away. He wasn't taking some brutal beating. Quite frankly, he just didn't look like absolute shit. You know what I mean? He looked okay. He looked pretty good, to be fair. I don't think he's a champion quality fighter anymore, but he's got at least 1 to 2 more bad L's before we need to start putting him, mention him in the same breath with Anderson and BJ. Like, he's not quite there yet, man.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, I think that Jose Aldo has a good sense of where he's at. And I think it's admirable to me to hear that he says that he just had a bad performance and he feels like he could have done a lot better. And like you said, Fred, it wasn't a horrible performance by him. He still got it. Like, he's still way better than BJ or Anderson at this point.
Did either one of you guys think that he was fighting not to lose? That seemed like that gets to anybody. Mind you, I watched it on mute, and I thought, man, he was like fighting not to lose. And someone told me like that's what they said on the broadcast, that he was fighting to not lose.
I feel like he never really hurt him. So he never caught that, like, I can hurt this guy vibe. And I feel like if you don't catch that, or maybe if Jose doesn't catch that by the 3rd, 4th round, I don't know. I wouldn't say that he started to play it safe, but maybe just lost a little bit of confidence in his ability to actually hurt Volkanovski. Right. That's, I guess, what I kind of felt. Like, I never felt like he was just cruising, per se, but definitely wasn't swinging like he knew that he could finish that fight at any moment.
Right.
But we know that Jose is that front runner type guy. If he doesn't get ahead of you and he feels like he's ahead of you, on the scorecards, or just like
chills
better
out.
than you, yeah, he's just gonna kind of shut it down and just kind of cruise either way.
Right. And then just like for Volkanovski, unfortunately, he misses out on the title shot right away. Apparently, he's in what country is he in? Chile? No, he's
something like that. Yeah,
he's in South America somewhere. Right. He has a blood infection of some sort. They're figuring that out. So we're not getting Volkanovski versus Holloway next. We're actually getting Frankie Edgar getting in there against Max Holloway, which I'm actually okay with. That's to me, it's a solid fight. So I think that's going to be for UFC 240, I believe. Yeah. I don't know. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on the comment section. But anyway, all right. Other fights on the card. I mean, Irene Aldana finishing Betch Correia in the third round after missing weight by 5 fucking pounds. Francisco Trinaldo against Carlos Ferreira was canceled. Obviously, Ferreira wasn't able to even weigh in. So, and then Ryan Spann knocked out Lil Nog in like no time. That was sad.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about Little Nog. He's another one that can get the fuck out of here immediately. And let me tell you something, Little Nog. You, my good friend, do not have the drawing power that your good buddy Anderson and BJ have. You will be getting Scott Coker's number ASAP. I think that was the last time we seen Little Nog. For real, I don't think.
No, I
think that was all she wrote for Little Nog. If Little Nog keeps fighting, I do think that he's getting the pink slip at this point.
At some point, I think he will.
And he was never even the most popular Nogueira brother. Like, let's keep it a buck here. Little Nog is not quite Anderson fucking Silva, Jack.
Right. Jesse, here's a question for you here from Amusement. He goes, Jesse, if you think Aldo is teetering off the elite spectrum, how is Edgar looked at for Max in the title fight? Aldo beats Edgar if they fight tomorrow.
I mean, that's like saying Edgar would beat BJ Penn in his prime every single time, and some people just have the number, man. But it's tough because, like I said, like Jose Aldo, I think just has a really, really good sense of where he's at, and I don't think he would want to take a fight that's like to his disadvantage. He might take the Max Holloway fight just because he thinks that he can get it in there. But I don't think if you gave him someone that he already knows is just gonna piece him up and beat him up, I don't think he'd take that fight.
Well, I mean, Aldo was offered a main event spot. He asked for a co-main or under. He didn't want 5 rounds. He wanted 3. He asked for 3 rounds. So I mean, there's probably an argument either way. But
it's very, very cliche, but styles make fights, man.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Max Holloway throws Frankie Edgar a beating. But just because Jose beat Frankie and that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Styles make fights.
Now let's talk about the last fight we're going to talk about on this card. The saddest fight of all. I wasn't even impressed with Clay Guida at all. To me, it wasn't that Clay Guida he wasn't impressive, right? The whole time I'm like, you're fighting BJ Penn, dude. Like this BJ Penn. You're not fighting, licking blood off my gloves BJ Penn. You're fighting, BJ Penn.
This was legit like your 2 drunk uncles got into it at the 4th of July party. Like, this didn't even look like a UFC caliber fight, man. It didn't. It's 2 old dudes in there. I mean, especially with BJ, for me, as an old school BJ fan, it's literally kind of sad. Literally. Like, he just don't look, he's not fast. Look, y'all been watching this sport for a long time.
Yep.
Can you imagine if this fight would have happened 9 years ago when BJ and Clay were both in their prime? And just to take it a little further, the way this fight played out, they basically kickboxed for 15 minutes. Is there any shot in the dark that Clay Guida makes it 2 fucking minutes boxing with BJ Penn 7-8 years ago? Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, for all the people who just started watching this sport, there was a time where BJ Penn's jab was the most deadly fucking weapon in MMA.
Yes,
and the cute cocksucker had the best Brazilian jiu-jitsu in the fuck. He was like Damian Maia with Thug Rose's jab. No fucking bullshit. I mean, he would have fucking, and this is not a knock on Clay Guida. It's just a fucking testament to how great BJ Penn once was. BJ would have destroyed Clay Guida if he was even half of the fighter that he used to be. And again, I'm not saying this to be derogatory. It is just, I'm saying this to make the point that it is time for BJ Penn to hang it up. And if he chooses to not hang it up, then fuck it. DW, for Christ's sakes, you don't need that blood money either. BJ fucking Penn is done fighting at a UFC caliber, and it pains me greatly to say that, but goddamn it, it is fucking true.
Do you think that if the UFC doesn't step in and stop BJ Penn from taking fights, do you think the commission's going to be the one to step in and stop this from happening? Because, I mean, eventually he's going to get very, very much hurt, and the ramifications of all these fights and all this damage, eventually he's going to really catch up to this guy. And it's going to be even sadder than what it is right now, that what we're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it, man. I have seen the argument. A lot of people say, well, he isn't getting knocked out like Chuck Liddell or like
right.
blah, 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 blah. Like, just because he's not getting knocked unconscious does not mean that he's not taking beatings and performing way below what we all know he should or could be performing at. I think that's the biggest point, man. Guys decline at different rates. BJ has declined greatly. He's nowhere near the fighter he used to be.
BJ Penn, his record is now stands at 16-14. 2 more fights and he's a 500 fighter. Okay. And if you didn't know who BJ Penn was and you just looked at his record, you'd think he was whack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't remember that he was like one of the best he was the best on the planet for a while.
Right.
Like,
right.
Up and down in weights and everything.
Do you think that maybe the fact that he's not getting brutally KO'd is what's causing more damage to him? The fact that he's not getting stopped, viciously, and he's not seeing that, like, damn, like, I don't even have it enough to, like, just get KO'd real quick. Maybe that's what's being even more detrimental to his mentality, where this dude was talking about winning this fight and then
fighting. Oh shit, did we lose him?
For a title.
Oh, there he is.
Penn.
Yeah.
To be fair, he has been getting finished. Like, I also don't know where. Didn't Dennis Seaver finish him?
No, I think Dennis Seaver pieced him the fuck up, though. I think Seaver pieced him up really fucking bad.
Okay.
And
well,
then,
I know that Yair definitely finished him.
Yeah, he fucking.
And I know that fucking Ryan Hall definitely finished him.
Heel hook.
So, didn't KO him though.
Well, no. What one person? Yair fucking KO'd him, and goddamn Ryan Hall submitted him, and apparently Dennis Seaver just beat the fuck out of him, and now he just lost a relatively close fight with fucking Jesus Christ decrepit ghost. It's enough with fucking BJ already. It's over. The ghost, the jig is up, baby. I mean, and at a certain point, obviously, degenerates like us are going to watch the fights regardless.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, it does become. The only reason I'm watching BJ fight at this point is because I'm already at the party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If a girl showed her tits and I'm at the party, I'm going to look. If BJ's fighting and I'm already at ESPN, I suppose I'm going to watch his fight. But I don't want to. Like, I would just tune him not be there. Like, of course, I'm going to watch because I'm already there. But, like, I'm cool on ever watching BJ fight in the UFC ever again.
Fred's the guy whose girlfriend is like, hey, what the hell are you doing looking at tits? Well, they were just in front of me.
They were there.
Absolutely. I would never touch or nothing like that. But goddamn, if they pop out, I'm putting my eyeballs on them.
All right. Last couple comments here on this topic. MMA God says BJ is like a band touring off the greatest hits, just hanging on. There you go.
Yeah. Not even because even a band doing their greatest hits, they could still perform and you'd be like, well, it's still a good show. This is just like someone getting beat up. It's like watching. Oh God, who is it? What's his name? Ozzy Osbourne.
God,
try to do stand up or anything. That dude's not gonna do a great performance. He's not gonna do anything. It's just sad at this point.
That dude just like every fucking 5 seconds. That's all I remember that dude. Now back in the day, he was a bad motherfucker. All right. Museman says, people forget how Nick Diaz tuned BJ like a 6-string guitar. It was giving me CTU watching it. Fuck yeah, he did. Fucked him up. That was sad to watch, and I'm a Nick Diaz fan. And I was still like, God, stop, dude. Just stop it. Just choke him out or something, please. But my homeboy Fangs says, just gonna say, not sure that it was touched on, but Hager was looking away if he meant to keep that choke in. He's an asshat. So, Jake Hager. No. What's his real name?
I think it's Hager.
All right, well, Hager. He held on to that fucking choke with the fat dude, and then I forgot who the ref was. I think it was.
Longbeard.
Longbeard. There you go. And he fucking tried to, he was stopping the fight, and Jake held onto the choke for a minute, like a few seconds longer. A lot of people were calling dirty. He was saying, I forgot what he said about it, but Fangs believes he was looking away and he meant to keep the choke in. If he did that, first of all, fuck that guy for doing that, right? If he actually meant to keep it. But did you guys watch any of that Bellator?
Yeah, I seen that. I seen that too. I mean, he definitely held that shit. He definitely held it a little longer than he needed to. Yeah, it was a dick move. There's no. I mean, he didn't hold it for like to the point where homeboy was going brain dead, but a solid probably 2 seconds, which we all know is kind of a millennium. You know, when you're getting fucking choked, but
that'll put you out.
Now, Fred, you saw it. So do you think that he did it on purpose and then sold like his kind of like I'm kind of a dick and I'm kind of an a-hole after the fact when they were interviewing him? And do you think this is more like him thinking like this is WWE? If I get a lot of people hating me, more people are gonna watch me.
Well, he does that fucking what is that bullshit he does after every fight that he's won so far, or every fight that he's had? He's only had one other fight, I think, but he did that. We the People, right? Isn't that his like wrestling thing?
I have no idea.
I want to say it's his wrestling thing because that's what people were saying on Twitter.
As soon as he won, I switched back to the UFC. Like I seen that and I was like, cool. That's what I thought was going to happen. He was fighting a fucking like a tire salesman or something.
I was rooting for the tire salesman. I wanted tire salesman to win.
Me too. And then I seen him tap him. I was like, of course he did.
Yeah, unfortunately.
One other thing from that Bellator card, if
Michael Chandler.
Yeah, you want to talk? Well, that and MVP.
Oh, MVP. All right, y'all. Can we stop the fucking hype? People were telling me like, no, he's legit. Look, I get it. He beat Paul Daly, right? He beat Paul Daly. Yeah, he beat Paul Daly. Fair enough. Fair fucking enough. But to me, the hype chain is over. He beat can after can after can. Gets one legit fight. Barely wins that. It was like split, right? Or decision of some sort. Right. Barely wins that fight. And they give him a guy that he should be able to knock out. This idiot goes in there with his arms down and gets knocked the fuck out. Like, can we stop with the hype already? Are we done with MVP?
We about to have some fun now, Jack. Kumbaya's over. How dare you?
Oh, get the fuck out of here!
How dare you? Listen, first off, Paul Daly's a bad motherfucker. Right. It's not to belittle him in hindsight to tear MVP down, but whatever Paul Daly counts you prick. B, a lot like Thug Rose, MVP was controlling that whole fight, and he didn't get fucking knocked out on the feet, you prick. He got knocked out on some kind of weirdy beardy shit on the ground with a fucking weird shoveling up right after he just hurt Douglas Lima. Like, for me, like all hyperbole aside, I don't put much stock into that loss.
Right.
I won't say it was fluky, but where is MVP obviously best and doing his work on his feet? He's very hard to. He got knocked out on his butt. Clearly, he don't maneuver that well in those circumstances. Like before that, when he was on his feet, Douglas Lima couldn't find him. And when he did find, it was a leg kick, a weird leg kick that kind of he swept the leg, and he kind of just jumped on him. Well, no, that's not fair. He swept the leg, and then he landed a very accurate fucking hooking uppercut in midair. So I will give Douglas Lima that. It's hard to punch somebody in the face while you both are standing when they're trying to avoid you. But to kind of like reach down and mollywop somebody when they're like fucking a foot and a half off the ground and clip them right on the fucking kisser is quite hard to do. So, but I do feel like, I don't know, man. I don't want to take nothing away from Lima, but I feel like it was a little fucking weirdy-beardy, man. It wasn't like MVP just got smashed. Like he was winning the fight and a lot like the Thug Rose fight, like he was winning and then boom, he was out. And it was like, oh, fuck, true.
This the Tito Ortiz defense, right? Well, I was winning that fight up until I lost. God.
Bro, don't start with Tito.
Not a word of a lie.
Look, I agree with you, Fred. I also agree with you that it's not a huge loss to MVP stock due to the fact that Lima is a legit guy. He's a guy that, I think if he transitioned to the UFC, he'd be one of those guys right at the top, top 3, top 4, right away. And I just don't think that he's had the opportunity to really show that. So it kind of sucks because a lot of people are looking at this fight and they don't understand who Douglas Lima is. They probably knew about his brother, Diego Lima, who tried his hand at the UFC and was just awful in the UFC. You know, didn't really do much. So I think that's where a lot of people don't understand how much this win actually meant for a lot of us that knew who Douglas Lima was. But like Fred said, I mean, it's not a big deal, man.
Right.
Now we know what MVP is his level is at right now, right? So he can only get better, right? If he's really as good as we all think he is, he can only get better from here. And maybe now he'll actually get into those, you know, better matchups and actually have better fights. And maybe we'll actually see him achieve his potential instead of, like we were saying before, just crushing tomato cans all day.
Right. Fair. I mean, fair enough. And you know what? I can see Fred's point. Like, he didn't get like destroyed by like a WWE guy or anything crazy, but still, like, I've been kind of annoyed with people going, you know, saying stupid shit. Let's like MVP's like Anderson Silva. No, he's not. Stop it. Anyway, regardless, Amusement says tire salesman. Talking about the guy Hager beat. Tire salesman. He's the assistant manager of GameStop.
There you go. The fuck out of me.
Wow. That's even worse if you've ever been in those stores, man.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
At least a tire salesman's probably kind of buff for moving around tires. He's a fucking computer geek. He was bound to take a beating.
All right, real quick, Jesse, clear it up for the people. Fangs is fucking around, but he goes, "Is that a person in the back of Jesse's van?" LOL, just kidding.
Oh, whoops. Sorry, gotta clear that up. My bad.
Gotta put the body down, bro. Gotta put the body down. Anyway, all right. What else? I know we had something else.
Want to talk about Chandler?
Real quick, Chandler. Make this quick on this one because I didn't watch the fight live. I watched it after the fact. Was it an early stoppage? Is that what they were saying?
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that. I say he was KO'd. He also received, what was it, like 4 or 5 punches with his face where he didn't even move. He just kind of like accepted those punches. So
yeah,
bro, this is a classic case. We've seen this a million times, man. It's one of those deals. Was the fight stopped early? Yes. It probably was. When the fight was stopped, Michael Chandler was literally working his way to his feet, relatively cognizant. But would the fight have changed around at all if they let it keep going? No. Like, he was going to just get slept. It's one of those classic cases of it probably got stopped a cunt hair too early, but if the ref had not stepped in, homeboy was just going to keep punching Chandler, and eventually he would have put him to fucking sleep. I mean, he had the upper advantage. It's the first round. He's on top of him, raining down punches. Like, Michael Chandler wasn't getting out of that. That's for sure. It probably was stopped a little early, but it did not matter. I mean, he's not, you know, it wasn't even a Pat Barry fucking Czech Congo type deal where they're at least kind of still dozing around on their feet. Chandler was fucking face down, getting mollywopped in the back of his head. Like, he wasn't. At best, he flips over and starts taking him in the kisser, but that fight's over.
Gotcha. All right. Real quick, because someone brought it up on the Instagram. Is Jon Jones ducking DC at heavyweight? Because apparently he said that the only guy he's nervous about losing to is DC, and he doesn't want to give him a weight advantage. Fred, do you think he's ducking DC, or are you just being an asshole?
1000% not ducking DC for sure. I mean, he's definitely. I mean, come on, man. He's threw the dude a beating twice. And every other human man that he's ever gotten the cage with, he has beat the dog piss out of. I don't think Jon Jones is ducking any human cocksucker.
Right.
Why he's doing this is interesting though. Because it could be a few things, right? Is he just trying to be a genuine, nice, humble guy? Maybe.
Yeah.
Exactly. That you get that reaction. So it's like that seems a little doubtful. Is he trying to just make us think that he thinks these things about DC, which would seem a little weird too, because it seems like recently Jon Jones has been okay with just being the heel and being the bad guy.
Right.
Or is Jon Jones some kind of a futuristic Conor McGregor genius?
Right.
And is he hyping up a future fight at heavyweight with Daniel Cormier right under all of our noses? Is he going, you know, hey, listen, Jack, you know, I beat him at 205, but he's pretty big at heavyweight and he's fast and flexible and shit. Like, I don't really want none of that smoke, so I'll just stand. And then when eventually the inevitable happens, because the cute prick can't keep fighting Johnny Walkers, like eventually he's going to get shoved into heavyweight, whether he likes it or not, because he's just a victim of his own success. I think at that point, then he can maybe like, oh, well, you know, man, I didn't really want this fight with Daniel at this weight. He's big, he's strong, but I'm going to see what I can do. And I don't know. Maybe that's the angle. Or maybe he's just bipolar, man. And some days he's the, you know, he's the bad guy, and some days he's the Jesus loving, you know, good guy. I don't know.
Nah, I like your theory, and I think that's the angle that he's probably playing. You know, Jon Jones is pretty smart in how he does things, you know, kind of attacking DC at the whole what was it, the wrestling meet. You know, he had no intention of being there, but he was like, you know, I'm gonna show up and all this stuff, and then, you know, it garnered a lot of attention, right, over something that Jon Jones probably had no intention of doing, right? Like, Jon Jones is pretty smart, and I think you're right on the money where, you know, he's giving DC all this praise, like, man, he's a lot bigger, stronger, all this stuff, and then when he goes up to heavyweight and knocks him out, he's gonna be like, well, see, I told you, you know, he had all the advantages.
I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
This motherfucker, I'm blessed.
Hey, yo, did y'all see, before we get off of Jon Jones, did y'all see that clip of the kickboxer that approached him?
Dude, was Jon Jones ever more awkward when he was
tell you what.
Like, what the fuck?
I tell you what, I got a little nervous though when he was walking up and he told security, like, don't hold him back. Don't hold him back. Yeah. Like, let him through. I'm like, yo, y'all better hold him back.
Yeah.
Uncle John's gonna beat the fuck out of that dude if y'all let him go. And he's not about to trade with him. He's gonna take him down and start elbowing the piss out of that dude right here, right now.
Yeah. No, that whole don't hold him back shit. I was like, no, hold that motherfucker back. It's about to be a bad day for him.
Yeah, no shit, buddy. Y'all are not in K1. He does not have to fight you properly. And Jon Jones is a sneaky prick. He might poke you in the eyeball.
Oh, dude, it's a street fight. He's gonna all poking. It's gonna be like you might get 1 punch through, but you ain't gonna be able to see shit afterwards. Fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? So, let's see. Amusement says that guy belongs to AKA and trained DC for John.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know.
Yeah, he did. I think he would. Yeah, he was a striking trainer or partner.
That makes more sense. Yeah. So, all right. Let's see. Let's touch on this weekend's card. Let's see. UFC Fight Night 152 in Blue Cross Arena. Where is that? Rochester? Yeah, New York. Yeah. Main event: RDA versus Kevin Lee. I'll pull a page out of Eugene Robinson's book. Give a fuck or not give a fuck, or care or don't care about this fight, Fred?
Care.
Yeah.
I hope we don't get fucking sued for taking their shit like that.
But don't care.
Give a fuck. I like that. That's a lot more our style. I give a fuck. I do. I probably won't give a fuck about many other fights on this card, but this is a good one. Where is this fight taking place at?
New York. Oh, weight division 170.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is Kevin Lee moving up?
Yeah. Well, Kevin Lee missed weight last time around, so he's moving.
Who did he fight at 170 last time? This is his second fight at 70?
Oh, I can't remember. Who did
he
fight
at 70, isn't he?
I want to say it's his first fight at 70. I think his last fight was supposed to be 155, and I think he missed.
Okay.
But wasn't his last fight against T-Ferg? No, not T-Ferg. Who was it?
He's the one after that, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Dude, I can't remember, and I don't obviously I don't have my phone to look it up right now. But all right, fair enough.
Okay. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so 170. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting though. You never know how these weight division jumps are going to go, man. I mean, for Max, it didn't pan out so well. For other guys, it goes great. This is an interesting fight, man.
Quinta.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's who Kevin Lee fought. Right. Right. Exactly. And that was a really good close fight too. One would have to lean towards RDA, I would imagine.
Right.
He's a lot more established at 70. With that being said, I'm gonna go with Kevin Lee. I always like the new blood. I think he's younger. I think that if he is getting outstruck and is unable to handle the pace of RDA striking, I think he has the tools to make him grapple, and I think he might be able to get the best of him in that department. But I don't know though. We'll see. RDA is probably a little bit bigger, I would think, than Kevin Lee.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
I guess RDA is not the biggest 170er, but at least his body is more
Right.
used to being at that weight division. Kevin Lee's just getting there. So
Yeah.
I'm still going to go with Kevin Lee, though. I'm going to go with Kevin Lee by late submission. 5 rounds, right?
Yeah, it's a main event. Yeah.
Fourth or fifth round submission.
I'm with you. Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee by decision, I think. But I think he's going to end up winning. And RDA, I think, I'm not saying he's at the end of his, career. He's not, or not, at all, honestly. But I just think it's going to be a good fucking fight. Yeah, so it'll be fun. What about you, Jesse? What do you think?
RDA all the way.
Where's your hat, dude? I know you got to have it in there somewhere, right?
Damn it, I don't.
You don't. He's got the RDA hat. Fucking when he was champ, Jesse was all about RDA and shit. It was all good.
Even before he was champ. Look, you guys are right, but I think the only problem I see here is that we already know where RDA is lacking in, and that's Lee's, bread and butter is the wrestling.
Right.
And the way that Colby Covington was able to dominate RDA with the wrestling, I mean, that's a tough thing. So if RDA hasn't really shored that up at this point, I mean, if he takes another beating from a wrestler like that, I mean, he's pretty much done at any weight class, because that's just going to be the game plan from then on, right? Everybody's just going to be like, well, I got RDA. All right, got to switch to my wrestling.
Pretty much. All right. And then make this one quick here. Fangs is asking. He goes, I haven't got to ask. Stylebender going to keep on the run he is on or not? He's got the title fight next, the unification fight against Bobby Knuckles. So, I don't know. It's an interesting fight, right? But I think a lot of people are actually picking Robert Whittaker over Stylebender. But do you know anyone who's a favorite in that one?
Ooh, not off the top of my head. Probably Robert Whittaker by very small margin, I would imagine. I wouldn't imagine it's one way or the other. It's probably a pretty even fight. Maybe a slight edge for Whittaker.
Right, more than likely. I believe you're right, yeah. All right, we'll do real quick what the Instagram questions were. All right. The first one on the Instagram, it was a question, it was like topic, was Andrade SLAM. New champ, but should they ban slams? Quick answer, Fred.
No, of course not.
All right, Jesse?
No.
I don't believe it should either. I think slams is part of the game. In a real fight, they're not going to fucking ban slams either. So,
yeah,
is what it is. All right, here's a good one. Reports that Usman is going to defend versus Till. Is that true, and do you want to see that fight? Fred?
Darren Till?
Darren Till against Usman.
Did Colby Covington get shot, or?
That's right now what they're talking about. They're talking about it's going to be. I mean, look, that's a report. Now, there was also a report saying that John and Jacek is going to be next up for Andrade, and apparently that's bullshit. So this could be bullshit. But I did see some tweets about it. Some rumors.
I actually take that back. Did Colby Covington, Jorge Masvidal, and Ben Askren all die in a plane crash? Because if not, no. What the fuck?
Masvidal's booked right now.
Hey, it's Ben Askren. That's what I'm saying. Did they all die together? Because if not, I don't see how the fuck Darren Till stormed to the front of the line. There.
By the way, real quick, the Robert Whittaker Adesanya. Robert Whittaker is a -140 against Adesanya's +120. So
close. That's close.
Yeah, that's close.
All right. BJ Penn and Anderson Silva. When are they going to retire? Hopefully today, but I doubt it.
BJ ASAP and Anderson a cut hair behind that. Probably ASAP, but maybe one more fight in Bellator, or some shit like that. But BJ needs to retire, period, dude.
Yeah, but I think you're right. He's gonna end up getting a call to Bellator, and Dana White's gonna be like, motherfucker, whatever. I'm getting my Disney money now.
Nah, screw you guys. Here's the plan. Oscar De La Hoya Promotions.
God, no, don't give that motherfucker ideas. All right, because he's gonna be like Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz and all the other guys on the card. All those guys are all great.
Listen,
I know them personally.
For shits and gigs, how many pay-per-view buys does Golden Boy 2 do with the rematch with Chuck and Tito with BJ Penn and CM Punk opening up the card?
First of all, it's got to be BJ
fire for the mainstreamers.
Can they get Sean Sherk back? Because I want to see BJ Penn against Sean Sherk. If we're gonna get that stupid, if we're going that crazy,
I don't. Is Sean Sherk alive? Where's Sean Sherk at? Is he alive? I don't know where he's at all. Like, at least I know CM Punk's breathing oxygen.
Is he alive? The disrespect. Oh, MMA guys cleared up that Till news is fake. Thank you. I appreciate that. I was hoping it was fake, and I'm glad it's fake.
Yeah, it had to have been.
Yeah, no, fuck all that. All right. Next Instagram thing. Talking about buys. UFC 237 pay-per-view buys. Now, the numbers aren't out, but the prelims did not do well. It's the worst prelim numbers that they've had since the ESPN deal, which obviously is one other pay-per-view. But I would assume that it didn't do great. So, all right.
Oh, no, yeah, those are probably terrible numbers.
Dude, there's no way they did fucking well. There's no way. All right. Now, will Nate get Conor with the win over Pettis? Is there any other fight to make for Nate? They're not going to give him a title shot. I don't think.
By the way, real quick, Sean Sherk, he's now flipping houses in Minnesota.
Sean Sherk, get in shape. I'm beat your ass. I forgot who beat your Penn. All these Sean Sherk quotes are the best, though. For real. No, Sean Sherk was never, or beat your Penn was never funnier than when he was after fucking Sean Sherk. That was the best BJ Penn.
My favorite one was just Sean Sherk, you're dead.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly it. He was just screaming in the microphones about how he's gonna kill this motherfucker. Like, God, I miss that BJ.
I think that was after the Joe Stevenson win in Ireland.
Yeah.
He licked the blood and shit. He was fucking chaos.
Yeah. All right. So, will Nate get the Conor trilogy with the win over Pettis? I don't think they want Nate Diaz fighting for a title, especially with how inactive he is. But I do think they'll give him they'll try to make that Conor fight. I mean, look, why wouldn't Conor want the trilogy fight if Nate comes off a winner over Pettis? That'll be a big fight for both Conor and Nate. So now imagine that the new pay-per-view model is not like they're gonna make millions upon millions upon millions anymore, right? They'll make good money. But
see, that's the problem I see is that without that pay-per-view model,
there's no money fights.
I don't think you can really motivate Conor, with a pay-per-view buy rate or anything. I think it's going to take something monumental to make Conor come back. And I think, if I remember, I forgot who was saying that I think the only fight he wants to come back to is that
he wants to handle another L. That's why he wants to come back.
Yeah, he wants to come back to that fight. So I don't know.
But I'll give him credit. He wants to come back and take that fight again. I give Conor credit for wanting to run it back, but I don't really care. He got dominated.
But I agree though. I would rather see that rematch than the Nate trilogy now.
Yeah.
Like, why do we still give a fuck about Nate Conor? I almost don't even know. Nate fought in the month of Sundays.
I'll explain to you why. Because visually, that's gonna be a fun fucking fight. They're not going to the ground. It's throwing hands the entire fucking time. With Habib, it's how long is it gonna take to take him down? Oh, he took him down. Oh, he crossed his legs. All right, it's over.
Hey, Fred, you're asking the guy who probably has a Nate Diaz shirt on right now and a Nate Diaz hat why we should care about Nate Diaz. So
I'm just letting you guys know.
No. I'm not saying Nate Diaz. I'm saying Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor 3.
Right. I get what you're saying.
Look, what I'm saying is, I think that could still be a big fight. But okay, so Nate's doing the right thing. He's come back fighting Pettis. Conor needs to come back and fight too. Then maybe. But I don't if Nate gets a win, so what? If Conor hasn't got a win, they both need to be active and building towards this thing, or it just I don't really care. It's one thing if Nate wins and goes, Conor, you're dead. And then if Conor comes out and knocks out Cowboy and goes, Nate, fuck off. And then we finally get that. It makes sense.
Right.
But to just kind of it's weird, man. If Conor feels like he's got unfinished business with Khabib and he's got the ability to negotiate that fight, fuck it. Let it happen. If Tony's going to fucking fight Cowboy now, I mean, whatever's clever.
Well, I'll say this, man. I think if Conor gets smashed by Khabib and Nate beats Pettis, you're right. There's no building towards that fight. You know what I mean? You can make that fight just for the sake of making the fight at that point. So, what's up?
I feel like this is a Pacquiao Mayweather thing. They should have done this already. This should have already happened. Now we're getting it kind of late stages. Both of the guys.
If we get it.
Well, at least the money making guy now has a couple losses. It's just not popping. It's not sexy anymore.
Yeah, it's just not quite the same. I mean, will it look if Conor and Nate ever get in the fucking cage and fight? Will it do numbers? Sure, but it will need to be properly groomed in order to really do some big numbers. And that counts with both of them getting some wins and getting back in our consciousness. Neither one of these guys have been very active at all. Fuck, Nate ain't been active, period. Yeah. Conor's taken one boxing match and one MMA match since they fought. So
yeah, they both been pretty active on social media, unfortunately, but not in the fucking
cage. L's, by the way, 2 L's there for Conor.
Right. I mean, but one being a fucking exhibition boxing match against Floyd Mayweather for the most part. Sure. Like, I mean, Nate's had no fights and Conor's had one. Like, these pricks need to compete. Like, that's what made the first fight big, was Nate Diaz beating the shit out of Michael Johnson,
right?
And Conor being on his run. So it's like, it was huge because they were active and in our fucking consciousness, man. Now, you can't just force it down our throat out of nowhere. I mean, you can, but we're not going to love it.
Real quick. Do you feel the same way about the whole Stipe DC? Because that's how I feel. I feel like Stipe should have dominated somebody in between instead of taking all this time off.
Yeah,
just kind of crying about
that fight. Shot. Right. I think that fight is mainly because there's no Brock.
Wow.
And they're like, fuck it, fuck it, Steve, go. Like, and there's nobody else at heavyweight to throw in there. I mean, who are you gonna throw at DC at heavyweight right now? That's not gonna be like, fuck it.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Or as Fred would say, Jon Jones.
Speaking of that, the next Instagram thing is Jones is a pussy for ducking DC at heavyweight. I wouldn't call him a pussy to his face if I were you, Instagram follower.
I wouldn't call Jon Jones a pussy on the internet. That motherfucker seems unhinged and likes to do cocaine. He might fuck around and find you. Listen, I heard Jon Jones telling stories one time. I forget what it was. It might have been on the Joe Rogan podcast, but he was talking about like when he was younger and in college and how he would like go to the bar and like look at the biggest dude there and be like, I'd probably beat his ass, Jack. Jon Jones is terrifying. He's the type of guy at the bar that'll throw you a beat when he's drunk just because he can. Fuck that. You better not be shit talking Jon Jones. He's just stupid enough to throw you a beating.
I don't think you should. Look, man, I think he's what?
No, what? I was going to say, he's probably the guy that beats you up and is going to take your girl at the same time, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no doubt about it. Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. So, Instagram follower, I hope you're single because your little lady's getting drilled after that fight.
But look, I mean, to answer the question seriously, come on, bro.
Yeah.
He has beat that man up twice. I mean, twice, dog. Once over 5 rounds and once he finished him in like about 13 minutes.
Yeah.
It takes me 13 minutes to finish a fucking bowl of soup. He put me to sleep that quick. Like, I don't think he's afraid of him. No,
he's not afraid of him. All right. Next, the Instagram question or Instagram thing says, Rose doesn't retire, but if she does, it will taint her legacy. I don't think so because I think she accomplished what she wanted to accomplish. So if taint your legacy means like, I don't know what this person like what taint the legacy means to them. Like, maybe didn't defend it and become an all-time great, but I think she did what she wanted to do. So
I think that. I think if her idea of legacy was to be the GOAT, then maybe we could have this conversation. But I don't think Rose has ever claimed or wanted to be Anderson Silva or any of those people. Right. I think she could quit tomorrow, and maybe it would hurt her legacy a little bit. But I don't think she would give a fuck. In which case, it wouldn't hurt her legacy because she would be like, fuck. I exceeded my wildest dreams. I became the champion. I fucking defended the belt against a former great, possibly one of the GOATs of that weight division. I'm cool with my accolades. You know what I'm saying? I only took 1 L, and if we want to keep it a bean, I was winning that fight before she slammed me.
Yeah.
So if she did ride off into the sunset for whatever she wants her legacy to be, I wouldn't think it would hurt that much.
Not at all.
I don't think it could hurt her legacy when I think the most prominent question she would get if she walked away right now is like, what could have been? That doesn't hurt your legacy. That just builds your kind of aura of like, well, had she continued, what else could she have done? Because we saw what she did before, and we never got to see a BJ Penn, Anderson Silva type exit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right. That's true. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Next question, more common question. Still wondering why they made Cowboy vs. Ferguson. Cowboy vs. Conor makes more sense, in my opinion. I wanted to see Cowboy Conor better, but if Conor's not coming back, Cowboy Ferguson is the next consolation prize.
Well, listen, the reason Cowboy Conor didn't happen is because obviously Conor said no.
Right.
And Jesus H. Christ, before all the fucking little dick lickers out there go, Conor's scared. People,
he's not scared.
People, and dude, these motherfuckers in the UFC that fight at championship level, none of these motherfuckers are scared of one another. The reason they don't take fights and turn down fights is business.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's money, it's timing, it's, you know, fuck, Conor McGregor might be shooting a movie or whatever the fuck, man. These guys and girls have a lot of our shit going on. Nobody is fucking afraid. Let me tell you something. If anybody looked afraid, it was Rose before her fight with Jet. She looked like she was about to have a full-on panic attack walking to that cage. Like, I've never seen a fighter breathing like that. Like, she literally looked, I could tell she was trying to calm herself down. But do I think she was afraid of Jessica Andrade? Absolutely not. Maybe the moment, maybe the people, maybe the arena, maybe all those different things. But nobody's afraid to get beat up in the UFC, man. I think those fears are long gone with your first couple fights, with your first couple hard training sessions at the gym. The first time you get punched in your nose and it bleeds real good. Like, I think by the time you get to the UFC, those things are gone. Even Brock Lesnar, as easy as he is to make fun of, that man wasn't scared of no goddamn body, man. You know, maybe nervous, but that's a different thing than being afraid and being scared. Like, no, I don't want to fight this person. Like, nerves are different than fear.
I think the sad thing is that someone that asks a question like that about, you know, fighter being afraid has more than likely never been in any type of confrontation
100%
competition. Because when you compete, there's nerves. When you compete, there's like that, like, anxiety, right? Like, man, like, I gotta perform, I gotta do this.
Sure.
But it's not fear.
Dude, I'll explain it. Look, man, nobody that gets in a cage to fight somebody else is afraid. Okay, once you get past the amateur ranks, you're not afraid. Right. If you don't make it to the UFC afraid, bottom line,
for sure,
bottom fucking line. Okay, you don't make it to the UFC afraid. You don't make it to the highest levels of jiu-jitsu afraid. You don't make it to the highest levels of judo, boxing, kickboxing, all those things by being afraid. We need to stop that whole fucking afraid of whoever the fuck. All right, no, motherfuckers saying that are the ones that are afraid of fighting. All right, let it go, motherfuckers. Let it go. All right. And then the last one is Andrade tap. Don't at me. Fuck off. No, she didn't. We're good. No, she didn't. Shut the fuck up.
Don't at me. You know what the motherfuckers say? Don't at me. They say that because they know they're wrong.
Right.
Anytime a motherfucker say don't at me, it's because they know they're about to say some stupid shit.
Yeah, 100%. That's what it is. Anyway. All right. Real quick check of the headlines here. I saw something a second ago that I laughed at. Rafael Sanders says UFC called about Nick Diaz before ending up with Kevin Lee. No, they didn't. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. That's not RDA saying that's bullshit. No, they didn't call about Nick Diaz because Nick Diaz ain't fighting nobody. It's done.
He sure as fuck ain't fighting you, mister. We don't even know your name, so we use initial letters. What the fuck? Right. Nick Diaz is definitely not coming back for you, homeboy.
Right. Nick Diaz isn't coming back. I don't even know if he would come back or what he come back for, but who knows? I'm gonna be one of the ones that wish he would. Hell, fucking Nate's fighting at UFC 241 and DC Stipe on the card. And I'm trying to go to that motherfucker.
All jokes aside, and all, you know, hyperbole about Nick aside, I would like to see Nick get back in the cage because he is starting to get older now. He's taking care of himself very well. For all the jokes you want to make about Nick, about him smoking pot and shit, two cocksuckers constantly swimming and fucking biking over mountains. He's always in good shape. He's just got to get in fighting shape, which wouldn't take Nick Diaz very long. But he needs to, you know, if he ever wants to fight again, if he ever wants to give it a whirl, listen. If we didn't learn nothing from BJ Penn, we should know that obviously people age out. Right. BJ Penn, again, make no mistake about it. There was a point where BJ Penn was the absolute best fighter on earth.
Right. 100%.
So Nick Diaz is not always going to be able to do that. We don't want him to actually try, and then he comes back and looks like BJ, and he's just getting thumped on by some young kid, because we know what Nick Diaz used to be able to do. I'd really like to see him get in there while he still can possibly be competitive.
100%. I'd be down as fuck to go see that live, actually. But yeah. Anyway, all right. Anything else you guys want to hit on before we head out of here?
Yeah, real quick. I know you guys didn't cover Combate Americas, but a couple things happened over the last couple weeks. One,
Batar took that W.
That they also signed Tito Ortiz.
Okay, dude. No. Time out. We're not fucking. No. look. First of all, did you hear the fucking? Did you see the interview he did where he was totally like mixed up? Anybody? You see that shit where he was like he didn't even know what words are.
You mean classic Tito Ortiz interview?
Yeah,
but like,
no
dude,
shit,
if anybody has fucking CTE and we see it on video, it's Tito. I'm gonna block you for calling for even being nice to me, Ortiz. Okay, that's what it is. Anyway.
Look, that was not my only thing. I was also gonna. Their event over the weekend was very, very good. I forget the girl's name, but they have this very interesting, I think, straw weight fighter in their division who picked up a very, very good win. They're also having another event here coming up on June 7th. Over
Tucson?
In your part of the woods, yep, in Tucson. They have the former champion Jose Alday against Juan Pablo Gonzalez.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
And here's the thing: tickets starting at $15. So
here's the thing. I will say it right now. If I find out the venue's outside, all right, Phoenix today was in the 90s, and it was like late, it was like 100 degrees actually. I think like in some parts of Phoenix. All right. I'm not going to fucking sit outside and watch a fight. I'm sorry. It's just not happening. Not in Phoenix. If you did that shit in LA, you did that shit in a nicer weather area, Flagstaff even. Go to Flagstaff, Arizona, where it's always nice. Okay? Fine. I'm not driving down to shithole Tucson, Arizona to sit in the goddamn sun because you want to do your fucking event outside. If I find out it's inside, I'll take a shot. But I'm not sitting outside like last time. Remember we were going to go? And then I found out it was outside, and I'm like, fuck you, I'm not sweating outside. I was going as media, so I wasn't going to sit there in a fucking T-shirt and sweatpants like half those fucking outlets. I was going to go in like a shirt, tie, and a fucking pants, and I'm not sweating those out.
Just so you know, it is at the Casino del Sol at their amphitheater, and
so it's inside.
Outside. No,
it's outside?
Yeah, that's the outside venue that they go to.
See ya. Appreciate it. Y'all enjoy that shit, but I am not sitting outside in 100-some degree weather.
Either way, I recommend people watch the event when it does happen.
For sure, watch it.
It's a good event. They also have another event coming up June 21st in Hidalgo, Texas. They've only announced the main event so far. Enrique Baby Bull Gonzalez against Alejandro Pato Martinez. So
there you go. Yeah, look, motherfuckers, doing inside in Tucson or in Phoenix, and I'm there. Okay.
Listen, I know this is a Spanish promotion and all, but it cannot be safe to be fighting outside in those conditions. To be fighting in 100-degree weather cannot give you your best performance.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll fuck you up a little bit. Although, if you know you're fighting outside, you're probably training to fight outside. So hopefully,
something. If I'm fighting in 100-degree weather, I'm training to fight for 2 minutes.
Yeah,
you better get ready, Jack. That first 2 minutes ain't about to be nothing nice. If you weather a storm, you can have it, because I ain't fighting for no 15 minutes in that heat.
Yeah, fuck that, dude. I'm telling you. All right, anything else that we got? No,
that does it.
All right. Shout out to everybody that joined us tonight. Appreciate you guys. MMA Gods, Raider was here for a while. I think she might still be here. Jeremiah from the Hardcore MMA Show. Check him out with John Fitch, I believe, tomorrow. And if not, go hit his Twitter up, and I'm sure he'll post that. Amusement, what's up, dude? Appreciate you coming on. Fangs, it's been a while. What's up, dude? Appreciate you hanging out. And anyone else that fucks with us, you guys are the shit. We love you guys. All right. You can follow Fred Kirby at Kirby_MMA. You can follow Jesse at Spawat1983. I'm at Eli31. The show is at Keyboard MMA. Shout out to RepRepTheWarriors.com. Shout out to Spices Pro, SpicesPros.com. All right, we're going to do it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy UFC Rochester. Yeah, you guys are the shit. Good night. Good night, Wilshire.